stronger, better. We are back to help you, to bring you guests also who would help you to attain, and you can be able to see yourself in our guests that come on this show. And of course, you'll be able to, like we're looking at Mauritius today, you'll be able to see how you are also a solution to the problem in Mauritius. And if you say, oh, I'm not from Mauritius, I'm from a different African country, oh, all the best. It's just still the same, that whatever experience and whatever situation we are extracting in every nation on the continent of Africa, it is the same. It runs across. It's the same all through. On the Mentor Show, right from way back, almost 2 years. This is the fourth season, by the way. This is the fourth season. This is we've been running this show now since 2020. And we have looked at, if you look and see some of these on my Instagram page or my Facebook page, we've looked at various countries. We've looked at, we have mapped Algeria, Angola, Benin Republic, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros. We've marked Congo. We've marked Cote d'Ivoire. We've marked Democratic Republic of the Congo. We've marked Djibouti, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Kenya, Lesotho, Liberia, Libya, Madagascar, Malawi, and of course Mali. And we have done, last time we did Mauritania, and today we are on nation 33. Nation 33 out of all the nations on the continent of Africa. We are on nation 33, which is Mauritius. We are on Mauritius. So again, let us know where you are joining us from. If you are with us on Instagram, if you are with us on LinkedIn, if you are with us on YouTube at the Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel, or if you are with us on Facebook, welcome Awolowo Joshua. Welcome to the Mentor Show. Today we are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources. We are mapping Africa's natural resources, and I think that if that would, I'm trying to be able to share. Okay, so we are looking at Mauritius. Mauritius is, so what are facts about Mauritius? Let's consider some of these interesting facts about. So Mauritius is officially known as the Republic of Mauritius, and is an island country which is located in the Indian Ocean. That is about 2,000 kilometers off the southeastern coast of East Africa, which is also east of Madagascar. So it means from East Africa you get to Madagascar, and then before you now begin to go again in there into Mauritius. It includes the main islands Mauritius, as well as the Rodriguez, Agalega, and the Saint Brandon. Those are smaller islands around it. The island of Mauritius, along with nearby Réunion, which is a French overseas department, are part of the Mascarene Islands. The mainland island of Mauritius, where the population is concentrated, hosts the capital and the largest city called Port Louis. Port Louis is the capital of Mauritius, which is the biggest of the islands. Port Louis is the capital of Mauritius, and is of course the biggest island of the country. Now, the flag, like you will see in some of my flyers which I've put out there, are 4 horizontal bars of red, blue, yellow, and green. And this particular nation, Mauritius, so the official language of this country, they use French and English because the country has been colonized by the French and also by Britain, the kingdom. So they have their own lingua franca, which they call the Mauritian Creole. They have their own Mauritian Creole, and of course they have the Mauritian Creole is spoken at home. 90% of the population, 5.1 of the speak what we call Bojpon, 4.4% speak French, and 0.6% of the population they speak English. Now, when it comes to the ethnic groupings of this nation, excuse me, ethnic grouping of this nation, we have 67% who are Indian and 28% who are Creoles, 3% who are Chinese, and 2% who are French. Now, you'll be surprised that 67% of the nation were Indians because historically, the local population was forcibly expelled some years ago by some of the colonialists. So was forcibly expelled. So the religion in the country, so because you could know, because if there are 67% Indians, then of course it's 48.54% Hinduism, 32.71% Christianity, and 17.30% Islam, and 1.45% are other religion, other faith, if you like. So the government is a unitary parliamentary republic. They have a president called Prithviraj Rupun, and there's a vice president, there's a prime minister, and there's a speaker of the National Assembly based on this particular nation. So they got their independence from the United Kingdom in 12th of March 1968, and they became a republic on the 12th of March 1992. The population of this nation is over a million. Over a million is the population of Mauritius. $1.26 million. Is the population of this particular nation. Now, when it comes to the issue of the GDP of the nation is $37.012 billion. That's the GDP. and their per capita income is 29,349 dollars. So the currency of this country is Mauritian rupee. So you could see if he's using rupee, it's affinity because there are a lot of Indians there. So is the Mauritian rupee that is used there, and the time zone is UTC +4. The drive on the left hand side, the dialing code of this nation is +230 +230. So this, like I told you, the French had a stint on that nation 1715 to 1810 before the British took over from 1810 to 1968. Wow. To 1968. So now when it comes to this particular nation, don't forget that we are mapping Africa's natural resources. So what are what are the resources that are available in this particular nation of Mauritius? What are the resources available in this nation called Mauritius? Now, like I keep mentioning to you, why are we looking at the natural resources? Because I say it's an opportunity for you, for investment opportunities. It's an opportunity for you to also look at the challenges that are in the nation and see how you might be the solution to some of the challenges being faced by this particular nation. Because every nation have a challenge, and you might be the solution to some of the problems that this nation is facing. So some of the natural resources of Mauritius is they have, of course, arable land. They have arable land, which is good for made up of 39% of the nation's total area. Some of the main crops grown in this nation is sugarcane, banana, and corn. The government has set up the Ministry of Agro, Industry and Food to provide oversight to the agricultural sector. So they have all these crops that they work on. So sugarcane is major. Sugarcane is the most important crop grown within Mauritius, and in 2001 it accounted for close to 70% of the nation's cultivated land, which was approximately 36% of the nation. So sugarcane is a key material of agricultural resource exported. Of course, also tea is one of the crops grown in Mauritius. Now, of course, because of the rich fauna and the forests is a critical resource also in Mauritius. Now, because of the water and as an island, fish also is a critical resource in fact, there's a cooperation between the government of Japan and India to improve the fishing industry of Mauritius. Now, when it comes to mineral resources, when it comes to mineral resources in Mauritius, the chief mineral extracted from the island include basalts and lime. Uh, Mauritian basalt is of high quality and is probably used in building and construction. Lime in Mauritius is obtained from two primary sources: the coral sand, around the island, and the local coral limestone. There are several deposits of polymetallic nodules within the waters around Mauritius and that are believed to be extremely valuable. So research has shown that the nodules contain high quantities of manganese and iron, as well as small quantities of cobalt. The nodules are situated at the ocean floor at a depth of roughly 13,126 feet, which makes it extremely difficult to extract. Of course, one of the that Mauritius is an haven for tourism because of the beautiful islands, the clear waters. That you can see clear water. You can see in between when you're in the water. You can see deep down because the waters are clear, and so tourism and this beautiful scenery is a critical resource for Mauritius, which of course the nation thrives on. So several economic institutions such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund expect Mauritius to continue on its path of economic growth based on this critical positive things that are available in the country. So that's Mauritius for you. Now, when it comes to this particular country, when it comes to life expectancy, welcome official Dabiti. Welcome to the Mentor Show. When it comes to this nation of Mauritius, the literacy rate is 92.15%. That is quite very high. And I think since we've been looking at the nations in Africa, out of these 33 nations, I think this should, if I'm correct, if I remember vividly, this should be one of the highest we've seen among all the nations we've looked at. And one of the nations that stood out was Cape Verde, that had a very high literacy rate. So Mauritius now is coming 92.15%, which is actually, literacy rate is very good. Now when it comes to life expectancy in Mauritius is 73.68% as of 2021, which is very high. So in other words, people are expected in Mauritius to live old, so at 73%. That's a good, one could say, is a good situation that the nation finds itself when it comes to health. Now, what are the good evening, Precioso HGA. Welcome to the Mentor Show. We are looking at Mauritius today. So tell us the nation you are watching us from, you are joining us from. We are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources and looking at the nation of Mauritius. Looking at the nation of Mauritius. Now, when it comes to healthcare system, Mauritius healthcare is recognized for its quality internationally and is available to all its residents. Like I mentioned earlier, 73% as life expectancy shows that they have good health care, isn't it? So 73% that the health system is split into two sectors of public and private health. The island has a variety of different hospitals and clinics, with some specializing in specific medical issues and treatment. The public health care is completely free, available via dispensaries and hospitals throughout Mauritius, and is capable of handling most medical conditions and emergencies. However, there are long waiting times and more complex health issues, which will require a visit to a private clinic, which is like so in most nations, or medical evacuation. And some of this medical evacuation will be in India. Don't forget that Mauritius having such high number of people who are from India. So you have India, South Africa, or Reunion Island, where they go for some of their health condition. Official Franklin Edward. Good evening. So you see that the health condition in Mauritius of course, the good health private medical practice hospitals are available in Mauritius, and which is good, with a good life expectancy. So they have good health care. However, the point, and which is why I keep coming on this show, is that even when the nation seems to have a good healthcare system, it can still be better. There are things that could still be done. And that is why there are opportunities for you as an individual or as an organization to exploit or to explore, setting up hospitals and tackling some of the issues. Now, if you say you're not from Mauritius, and you say, well, I'm not from Mauritius, good. But the point is that could you be a solution to setting up good health facilities in your own country where you come from? Because the story in Mauritius is good as compared to some of the stories of the countries we've looked at. I remember one that stood out when we looked at Benin. When we look at Benin, Benin was living on subsistence agriculture, and they are selling their children for $15 because of poverty. They are peasant farmers. So the fact that Mauritius has a good story does not mean that other nations have such stories. And whatever nation you come from, you are the solution to the problems or the challenges that are available or that are existing in that nation where you come from. So you are the solution. And that's why we keep coming on this show, bringing all this to your knowledge, to make you know that you are the solution to these problems. No other person will solve these problems. You are the one that is required to step, particularly the young people on the continent of Africa. The young people are the solution to the problem. And you know fully well, the continent is a young continent. Over 65% are under the age of 25. So it's a young continent. And so the issue of, it's good that literacy rate here is high, but it's not so with other nations. Let's now look at the issue of agriculture. Like we said, sugarcane was predominantly what this nation exports and work on. And so agri-wise, the nation is still making its headway, and the nation have been working when it comes to the issue of sugarcane since 1639. But it was the French government that they now began to make development. So sugarcane has been a predominant source of agricultural income to this nation. All right. But the point I'm making is that there's still room for more, there's still room for opportunities. The major destinations of the export of some of these materials are to United Kingdom, France. Now, when it says United Kingdom, you definitely know that we are sweet-toothed in our United Kingdom. So majority of those sugar cane will be coming to to United Kingdom, France, United States, Madagascar, Spain, Netherlands, Germany, and other are source of the major nations from where Mauritius exports its raw materials to other parts of the world. So you see, today we've looked at Mauritius. It seems to be a good story. However, there's still room for more. Literacy rate is good. So if literacy rate is good, it is assumed that the education in Mauritius is, the education which is managed by the Ministry of Education and Human Resources controls the development and administration of state schools funded government. So it means that they are doing some work, but it can still be more. The primary languages are English, French, and the Mauritian Creole, as we said it earlier, but there could still be a better chance of improving the lots of children in this particular nation. So that's just done for today. We've looked at Mauritius. It's the nation number 33. We've been looking at mapping Africa's natural resources. And this nation is number 33, which we have looked at out of all the nations. So I'm looking forward to one day we'll finish this project of looking at all these countries that are on the continent of Africa. But like I mentioned earlier at the intro, during the beginning, have you as a person on this show discovered the essence or the reason for your existence? Because you cannot have self-actualization until you discover the reason why you were born and you begin to deploy yourself to that purpose, if you understand what I mean. So it is until when you begin to deploy yourself to the purpose why you were born, I argue, that you will be able to achieve and attain self-actualization and self-satisfaction. So it's important for you to recognize and to know why were you born, of what purpose is your existence. These are critical things I need to leave with you again, which I normally mention on this show when we look at mapping Africa's natural resources. When we don't have guests, it's for you to think, what problem were you born to solve? So thank you so much for each one of you for watching the replay of this show. Share it, tell other people about it, and if you have any ideas, just let's have it. We are open to take on board your ideas. Thank you. I'm your host again on this show, Dr. Olushola Ajide, signing out until I come your way again next week, Tuesday. Bye.